Hello, I'm Douglas Shaw from Edinburgh Bike Fitting, and this is the Moda Alto. It is Moda's flagship model, if you like. So this model is one of the higher end models, if you like, in the Moda range. This bike comes with Ultegra Di2 in this spec. It's got Moda's carbon bar, carbon stem combo. One of the nicer features about this bike is it's got a very clean front end profile. So the cables come in off the hydraulic levers, down through the stem, through the headset. So you have that completely clean front end, not a visible cable in sight look, which a lot of the kind of more high-end bikes coming out right now in the market are all like that. Flat finish as such on the gloss paint, so when you're looking at the paint in the sunlight, you don't see any weird swirling. The bike is finished off in a gloss black, so it's a super light frame, 970 grams in a size medium. When you look at it, it's got a nice wide stance to it, so the bike is nice and aggressive. The tube shaping is very thick, so when you're pushing it into a corner, the bike's very responsive and it kind of goes where you want to go. To combine with that feeling in the frame of stiffness and responsiveness, you also have a really wide tire clearance, so 33mm tire clearance. These are 30s that are on it just now, by the way, and definitely looking at the front, there's room potentially for a little bit more than 33, but 33 is what is stated and backed up. It would be more at the back where you'd start to worry about it with a tiny little bit of flex at higher powers, where 33 might get a little bit dicey if it was much bigger. The frame has a oversized bottom bracket as well, so the kind of stiffness and the responsivity, if you like, of the frame it really kind of comes through when you get a little bit more aggressive when you're riding. So this bike is perfect for a customer a little bit fitter, looking for a bit more of an aggressive bike, something that you could totally happily take away with you to the Alps, maybe go and do like a marmot on the bike. If you had slightly deeper pockets and you wanted to road race this bike and not necessarily worry about binning it in a corner, then it would be the perfect bike for that. It's a really top end road racing bike as such. There'd be no harm in it. Now, the geometry of this bike is fairly aggressive, so there certainly are more relaxed geometries out there, but going into the sort of stack and reach numbers on a medium frame, it would be relatively low and relatively long. There are longer bikes out there with stem lengths up to 140, could definitely get any sort of position that you would be after, really, in terms of elongated and aero or slightly shorter. Well, one of the reasons I, as a bike fitter, like to go through Moda when I'm speccing a bike is because for an off-the-shelf price, you get to choose any stem length, any bar width. So Moda's finishing kit, which is like a kind of compact reach bar and a really nice carbon stem actually. So you get like a Da Vinci stem, which would kind of hide the cables in the exact same way that this hides the cables, compatible with the bike, and you can get that up to a 140 as well. 38 centimeter bar center to center. You can get, if you like, an aftermarket bar to be narrower than that. 38 is definitely narrow enough to be aero. 40 for most guys about my height, slightly bigger. I mean, generally it would be smaller sizes, women's bikes, where you'd need, well, women buying bike generally have narrower shoulders, so they're after the 36s, if not narrower. So what I'm saying here is the geometry is slightly more aggressive. You'll get a lot out of this bike if you are slightly fitter, slightly faster. Do not buy this bike if you're after the most relaxed armchair, fully upright, sit up and beg bike, because it's not that. There's another bike out there that Moda do for that. Kind of an all-out performance orientated bike. Modern tire clearances, stiff and responsive, very light. All round, it's a great racing bike and it'll take you far. Finally, one thing that I want to say is with any Moda bike, you can not only just customize the stem and bars, I've said before, you can change the crank length to your preference, chainring sizes, also cassette as well. So for the off-the-shelf price, you don't only get the benefits of getting your position requirements dialed in and your contact points changed to what you need, but also if you're going to be riding this bike in the mountains, you might want a more generous cassette. If you're going to be racing this bike, you might want a tighter cassette. So why buy that after the fact when you can get it off the shelf? And that's one of the biggest reasons that I really love selling Moda bikes. You can really kind of look after the customer and make sure that they're not paying twice for something that they would quite like. With competitors, you know, you're basically buying something off the shelf and you're kind of lumped with whatever stem and whatever cassette they've put on it, even if that doesn't work for you. Not the case here. So that wraps up my review of the Moda Alto, and I hope you liked it. Reach out to me in the comments. Any questions about spec and sizing, then please just let me know. Thank you very much.